This is a RateCut production, 5 minutes of randomness with Huckleberry Finn. Our gang's dark oath. We went tiptoeing along the path amongst the trees back to the end of the widow's garden, stooping down so as the branches wouldn't scrape our heads. When we was passing by the kitchen, I fell over a root and made a noise. We crouched down and laid still. Miss Watson's pig, named Jim, was sitting in the kitchen door. We could see him pretty clear, 'cause there was a light behind him. He got up and stretched his neck out about a minute, listening. Then he says, "Who's that?" He listened some more. Then he came tiptoeing down and stood right between us, and we could have touched him nearly. Well, likely it was minutes and minutes that there wasn't a sound, and we all there so close together. There was a place on my ankle that got to itching, but I dasn't scratch it, and then my ear began to itch, and next my back right between my shoulders. It seemed like I'd die if I couldn't scratch. Well, I noticed that thing plenty times since. If you are with the quality, or at a funeral, or trying to sleep when you ain't sleepy, if you are anywheres where it won't do for you to scratch, why you will itch all over and upward of 1,000 places. Pretty soon Jim says,
"Say, who is you? Where are you? My dog cats, if I didn't have Smurf'em, well, I know it's gonna what is that word?
Going.
Oh.
Going.
Going.
Okay, keep going.
No, that word.
To do?
Oh, who is going to sit down here and listen till I hears it again."
So he sat down on the ground betwixt me and Tom. He leaned his back up against a tree and stretched out his legs until one of them most touched one of mine. My nose began to itch. It itched until the tears come into my eyes, but I dasn't scratch. Then it began to itch on the inside. Next I got to itching underneath. I didn't know how I was going to sit still. The miserableness went on as much as 6 or 7 minutes, but it seemed to sat longer than that. I was itching in 11 different places now. I reckon I couldn't stand it more than a minute longer, but I set my teeth hard and got ready to try. Just then Jim began to breathe heavy. Next he begun to snore, and then I was pretty comfortable soon again. Tom, he made a sign to me, a kind of little noise with his mouth, and we went creeping away on our hands and knees. When we was 10 foot off, Tom whispered to me and wanted to tie Jim to the tree for fun. But I said no, he might wake and make a disturbance, and then they'd find out I warn't in. Then Tom said he ain't got candles enough, and he would have to slip in the kitchen and get some more. I didn't want him to try. I thought Jim might wake up and come. But Tom wanted to risk it, so we slid in there and got 3 candles, and Tom laid 5 cents on the table for pay. Then we got out, and I was in a sweat to get away. But nothing would do Tom but he must crawl to where Jim was, on his hands and knees, and play something on him. I waited, and it seemed a good while. Everything was so still and lonesome. As soon as Tom was back, we cut along the path, round the garden fence, and by and by fetched up on the steep top of a hill, the other side of the house. Tom said he slipped Jim's hat right off his head and hung it up on a limb right over him, and Jim stirred a little, but he didn't wake. Afterward, Jim said the witches bewitched him and put him in a trance, and rode him all over the state, and then set him under the trees again, and hung his hat on a limb to show who done it. And next time Jim told it, he said they run him down to New Orleans. And after that, every time he told it, he spread more and more and more. So by and by he said they run him all over the world, and tired him most to death, and his back was all saddle boils. Jim was monstrous proud of it. He got so that he couldn't hardly notice the other would come miles to hear Jim tell about it, and he was more looked up to than any other in that country. Strange would stand with their mouths open and look him all over, same as
Will do soon.
Same as if he was a wonder. He's always talking about witches in the dark by the kitchen fire, but whenever a woman was talking and letting on to know all about such things, Jim would happen in and say, What you know about niches? Well, witches. And that was corked up and had to take a back seat. Thumbs up!
Dan. Oh, I'm sorry. Why do I have to go first? I need to get it all out. I'm sorry, I just need to get it all out.
Man, this is gonna be